Okay, so this one is going to be kind of less about being in the gym and lifting, that kind of stuff, more kind of personal than that. Mental health. It's thrown around a lot, and people don't. It's a weird one. People talk about it, but they kind of don't at the same time. And I just think that it needs to be spoken about for a lot of reasons. Now, you will see people saying like, "There's ways to fix mental health. All you got to do is do this," and then it doesn't work. And I believe that they are in the wrong to do that, and they shouldn't pose their solution as a be-all and end-all of mental health. They shouldn't say, "Oh yeah, just do this, it'll work." It's not that simple. Excuse me. People are different. Everyone is different. And people will always be in different situations. And because of that, you can't just say, "Oh yeah, just do this." It has to be done on a person-by-person basis. And I think it gets overlooked a lot, especially in men. In women, it's not as bad. It's still overlooked, but it is far worse in men. Because if you look at an average group of men, the vast majority of them will not look after their mental health, and I reckon it's probably somewhere in the 80 to 90% range that don't, and it's just not spoken about. Because, and I'm not saying it's the men's fault, I'm not saying it's the women's fault, I'm saying it's society's fault. We've ended up in being pushed into a position where the men do the work and they shut up and get on with it. That's how it's been for centuries. And because of that, I just think it's been kind of forgotten that men do indeed have mental health. It's been slowly becoming more and more towards the forefront of mental health as a whole. In terms of resources and quality of support and things like that, it's just not there. So I want to discuss mental health just because I've been struggling with it for a little while now. It's been probably 3 or 4 months. I've had a lot of kind of big things going on in my life. I've moved house, not even that, I've moved my entire life up here to London. I've gone from a house to a room. I've gone from, a reasonable kitchen with, space and equipment and things like that to a bare minimum with, I've got a couple of pans, a frying pan, a dish for the oven, that's about it. And I'm not in a position where I can change that. And as of now, I can't move out of this room. So I'm stuck in this tiny little place. I haven't had the time to properly kind of make friends up here. So all I really have is myself in this room, or myself at uni, or myself at the gym. That's all I have. A lot of the people I've kind of made friends with are not from London. They commute in, or they're from other places in London. So it makes it awkward to kind of meet up with people. So I've ended up pushing myself into a position where I'm on my own, which I'm okay with. I've done it before. I can deal with it. However, because of other things that are going on, it makes it very difficult at times. About 4 months ago now, I got a girlfriend, and I love her very much. But she has problems of her own, and because I'm here in London, she's in Portsmouth, that's 65 miles away. There's nothing I can do. I can send some nice messages, I can get on a video call, that's it. I can't be there to support her, and it hurts to know that. My mother is unwell at the moment, quite unwell. And there's nothing I can do. There's times where it's really difficult to come to terms with things like that, because I can't talk to people to get through it, because I don't have the people to talk to. I can send messages, but it's just not the same. Because I've moved and because of how things have changed here, I'm now in a position where the coping mechanisms I used to use, they don't work anymore. I used to, I go out, I drive my car for a while. I can't do that. My car's not here. There's no point having a car in London. I can't just go and hop on the tube. That's just not the same. I don't have like a bike or anything up here I can use. So I just have to be without that, I guess. I can't, I used to go to the gym a lot because it would give me a space to kind of deal with things that I was going through. And a lot of people use it that way. And I think it is a very, very good coping mechanism to use, because not only does it helps with your mental health, you make friends there, that's almost guaranteed. Gym people are lovely most of the time. But it also allows you to improve your physical health while you're at it, and it incites kind of good discipline and good kind of self-control and things like that. Why is this out of focus? I don't know why it keeps doing that. It's really quite annoying. But the coping mechanisms I had, I can't really use anymore. And I think a lot of people will end up in situations like that, especially going to uni. That's a massive thing. You know, you're uprooting your entire life. You're going from, you know, being at home living with parents or whatever. You're then not doing that. You're then on your own in an unfamiliar place in some city far away. And you know how do you deal with that? And it takes its toll. So I got really deep there. I do apologize about that. But the main thing I kind of want to mention is with my mental health, it's a bit different to everyone else, because it's a bit up in the air. I have been diagnosed. I have ADHD and autism. That isn't a very old diagnosis, and I believe it is not accurate anymore. I'm trying to get a new one. And I actually mentioned it in the previous video about motivation. It makes it a very big struggle for me to find motivation. It's very, very difficult. Just getting up in the morning is difficult, let alone then going on and doing things I need to do, like, you know, cleaning and laundry and all that kind of stuff. It's very, very difficult to build up motivation to do things like that, because they're not things that I want to do. They're not things I enjoy doing, but they have to be done. So it often ends up that I only do them when I'm in a position where I have to do them. I don't have another choice. When, you know, I've run out of clothes. But I've actually made a big step with that, because I went out today. Went out this morning, spoke to my GP. I've got an appointment booked soon. Hopefully, from then on, we can then get the ball rolling on a new diagnosis, and hopefully that will help a lot. Maybe some medication will be involved. That would be lovely. But a lot of people will have conditions like this, and I guarantee you it's far more common. You focus. Thank you. No. Thank you. A lot more people will have conditions like this, and a lot of people will ignore it. It is more common in men to be diagnosed. It is more common in women to have it in the first place. And it often gets overlooked because it will be noticed at a young age, and I think, oh yeah, no, do you have this? And then they'll look into it and think, oh yeah, no, you're just a kid. You don't have that. And that's actually not the case. So I would, if you've ever thought that you might have it, I would urge you to speak to a GP about it, because it could be that you potentially have it. And even if you don't get anything for it, you don't get any like medication or anything like that, knowing about it, knowing that you have it for sure is a very good thing. And the reason why is because then you can implement coping mechanisms of your own. If you learn about your condition, you can then kind of work with it instead of working against it. Excuse me. Now, I have put that into effect. I put that into effect in many, many different ways. For instance, my chosen subject for my degree is engineering. Because I have autism, I'm a maths guy. Engineering is right up my street. I love taking things apart, less so putting them back together. I'm not very good at that. I'll always end up with a spare screw or two. But because of that, I've put myself in a position where the assignments and the kind of home learning we're given, it's not I'm pushing myself to do because I need this degree. I'm doing it because I want to do it. I'm doing it out of choice. And the gym is actually another one. It's actually a hyper focus of mine. When I go there, I won't think about like, oh yeah, no, I've been at the gym for this long, I should probably look getting going soon. I won't do that. I will just keep going. And it does have its downsides, because it means that sometimes I would just be in the gym for like 4.5 hours, and it's unnecessary. I'll end up forgetting about other things just to go to the gym. But from what I've found, it's a very, very good way of A, venting feelings, B, getting physically stronger, physically fitter, C, making friends, and all sorts of stuff like that. And I would absolutely recommend it. So yeah, there's a bit of a fluffy one there. I don't really know where I was going with that. Don't think there was really much of a point to all of it. But I just kind of wanted to talk about things and kind of update how things are right now. So yeah.